Hi everybody, this is Tayson Rockefeller, Teton Valley Realty. I'm here at the West Ridge Ranch subdivision here in Tetonia, Idaho. I'm going to show you 3 lots that are currently available that have, as I understand it, access to the water system, and I'll explain a little bit more about that in a moment. But I'll start with 2 lots, Lot 12, Block 7, and Lot 11, Block 7 there in the distance. I am standing roughly on the southwest corner of Block 12, and to give you some perspective on our location, I'll show you this kind of map I've printed. Number 1 is Block 12, number 2 is Block 11. You can kind of see the road that runs down the middle, and then there's a couple of more lots in front of these before we get to some more open space to help preserve that view of the Tetons, which is one of the important things about this project. As I walk out to the middle of Lot 12, the addresses on these for 128576 England Ridge Road, and Lot 11, Block 7, which we'll walk over to just to the east in a moment, is 8546 England Ridge Road. So one of the things that I always point out in my videos, or at least I try to, are how we can preserve the view, particularly in these Teton View developments. One good way of doing that is a roadway. Obviously, you cannot build in the middle of a road, and beyond that, you also are going to have setbacks. So as you come in off of that roadway a certain distance on the sides, on the back, that's going to kind of help place homes in a certain location. You're going to have a little bit of room left or right with these smaller lots in order to really take advantage of predicting where somebody else is going to build, not building in front of your neighbor, and keeping everybody happy in terms of preserving that view. So again, one of the things I noticed, if you get a little bit closer to the road with Lot 12, is you can kind of line up that roadway. As we walk a little bit further to the east to Lot 11, it seems to me like the Tetons start to creep a little bit to the north, and that's because these lots were kind of built on an angle, which was likely by design to help keep that Teton view in the roadway. Oftentimes these developers will think about these impacts when they're developing, but here on Lot 11, you can kind of see it seems like the road being over here, the dead ends, is a little bit further to the right, so maybe a little less protection on this lot from the roadway. However, we are only going to have 2 more lots between us and some more open space, and 2 more houses potentially to have an impact. You know, the further you get, the second house is obviously going to have much less impact because of that perspective in the distance with the rooftops. I'll give you a quick 360 while we're out here. The density of this project is much greater than it appears. Right now, only about a half a dozen homes in the project, although if I were to guess, probably 70 to 80 lots throughout the development as a whole. The reason you're not seeing all of these built out and developed are for a few reasons. One, no project in Teton Valley, to my knowledge, is completely built out. Not to mention, obviously, the water system. The system only provides water to a certain number of lots. There is a lottery system that was employed to kind of help direct how they were going to handle the situation, because the original system was not built out large enough for all of the lots. The intent was to complete that later. Of course, that was 2007. So the 3 lots I'm showing you, they have access to that system. Make sure to verify it because that can be a big impact. You can drill independent wells on these lots. However, and this is the reason why this system hasn't been expanded, we are in one of the deeper pockets in terms of well depths in Teton Valley out in this area. As a result, it's very expensive to drill, requires larger casings in many events, and the cost goes up exponentially. So you can buy a lot without access. However, something to keep in mind in terms of the cost. These are going to be private septic systems. and otherwise community water for those that are able to connect. My assumption is that at some point they will collectively expand that water system, but be cautious in any event with this development in terms of connectivity. I'm going to take you over to West Ridge Road and show you one more lot, which, as I understand it, does have access to that system. That's going to be over here. We'll look at the pros and cons of the view of that lot and give you a little more information about the development. Just a moment. So I'm over here on West Ridge Road, approaching what would be the southwest corner of Lot 4, Block 4. West Ridge Road is the main drag, so to speak. The address for this parcel is 8670 West Ridge Road. This one is going to have some immediate homes kind of in the peripheral and in the view. However, because of the kind of the undulation in the terrain, it's actually going to create some view corridors for this parcel as well. One of the things I kind of like about this lot is the silos in the distance. Not for everybody, but I think it's kind of a cool look. This lot starts roughly where we're at. You can see some lot markers here, and will extend approximately to where you see the fire hydrant there in the distance. One thing to point out, so you will have some homes in front of you across the road to the Teton View. We are oriented something like that. Number 3 is Lot 4, Block 4. So you can see 2 lots there directly in front, and then as we get down Evan Ridge Road, you'll have some in the distance. These initial lots I'm less concerned about because they are in a depression. As we walk up to the lot itself, you can actually see it actually kind of raises up a little bit. There is some gravel that's been mined back here, probably for the development itself, but that's going to be open space. So a nice preserved view of the big holes here kind of to the northwest. You will have 3 more homes along this road, but not much of a view we're trying to preserve over here. As we look across the road to the Tetons, so you've got a row of homes here, but you can see we're quite a bit higher. The height limitation in Teton Valley, and I believe this development as well, is 30 feet, so not much of a concern there. As we get some of these homes up on the ridge, they're going to kind of follow the road, as you can see. So we do have some open space that's going to preserve or help preserve some of that view, and you can really take advantage of that depending on where you are with this lot. Again, I mentioned at the other lots, moving and shifting and kind of helping predict where people are going to build, taking into consideration roadways, lot lines. You know, with this lot, people can't build on their lot lines, so you kind of have a view corridor here as well, which can have a good impact. And people don't tend to build all the way on the back of their lots. They tend to build closer to the road to keep those driveways shorter and so forth. So this is, on the surface, when you look at this on a map, may not be ideal, but actually when you're out here also has a fairly preserved view as well. One of the great things about West Ridge Ranch is we are very close to the pack saddle access for recreation, ATVs, mountain bikes, that sort of thing. That loops around to Horseshoe Canyon, where you see quite a bit more mountain bike trails in that area as well. Giving you a quick 360 here. West Ridge Ranch is quite a ways from town. We're 20 minutes at a minimum onto Pack Saddle Road. Most of that is paved. You do get some wind out here. We're a little exposed, but again, that's what kind of creates that wide open view that we have in West Ridge Ranch. And aside from that, the water system, obviously something I've mentioned a couple of times, so good to take note of that. Finally, the development itself, the lots out here are a little more affordable, as you probably know if you're shopping for these. The construction is a little more modest, so if you're looking for something where you can do a modular home or something of that nature, a little more affordability on the lot, closer to recreation, you're not as concerned about rentals and that sort of thing and just want to have a getaway, this is a great community to be able to do it if you pay attention to some of the aspects of the project that I've pointed out throughout the video. So again, Lot 4, Block 4 here to conclude the video, 8670 West Ridge Road here in Tetonia, Idaho. give you kind of a zoom in on the Tetons. The perspective I've been at, I believe, throughout the video is going to be pretty close. It looks a little bit small on my screen, but I think by the time you look at this on a computer monitor or something of that nature, obviously this will be zoomed in. In my eyes and in my screen, that's pretty close to what I'm seeing. But again, if you get this on a little better screen, that original aspect ratio might be just about right. So again, Tayson Rockefeller, Teton Valley Realty, 208-709-1333. Tayson at TetonValleyRealty.com. Thanks.